I am Maria Garcia de Fleury. The holy Cure of Ars, whose name was Jean-Marie Vianney, was a French priest whose youth was spent in the countryside at the time of the French Revolution. He said that he had a debt with his mother because the virtues easily pass from mothers to the hearts of their children, who voluntarily do what they see being done. From this man emanated an influence that cannot be overlooked and whose results cannot be questioned. He wanted to be a priest, but it was after much work and obstacles that Jean Vianney was admitted to the priesthood, and while studying there, he had endless problems because he could not learn, for example, Latin. Due to his exemplary behavior, they finally allowed him to be ordained as a priest and sent him to a very small, forgotten town called Ars, with only 200 inhabitants that were very far from God. All townspeople could not remain long outside the grace that radiated from the remarkable personality of their new priest, and the small village became better and better. Father Jean Vianney suffered many physical and spiritual attacks, but he was not unprepared. He knew that the enemy could raise its head, and he said, "If a priest is determined not to lose his soul as soon as any disorder arises in the parish, he must trample all human considerations as well as the fear of the contempt and hatred of his people. He must not allow anything to hinder him in the performance of his duty, even if he were sure of being murdered when he left the pulpit." He was a man of deep prayer and penance, immense love for the Eucharist, great devotion for the Virgin Mary, and praying the Rosary. He always said in his first sermons that the vices prevalent in the town, blasphemies, curses, profanations of Sundays, dances and gatherings in taverns, songs and in modest conversations, were not pleasable to God. His preachings were simple and impressive. He was close and constantly warned about the devil's schemes. Father Jean-Marie Vianney worked on himself in order to achieve in his own person the ideal that he demanded of his parishioners. He took his religious obligations very seriously. He fasted by eating 1 meal a day. He ate a little black bread and 1 or 2 potatoes boiled in water. He cooked for the whole week, storing it in a clay pot. He slept on bare mattress. In this way, he reduced the demands of his life to a minimum. The inhabitants of Ars realized that their priest always did what he said. He practiced what he preached. They never saw him allow himself any kind of relaxation. Father Vianney said, "A priest is a man who takes the place of God." He died at the age of 73 on August 4th, 1859, and his body is incorrupt. During the 40 years that he lived in Ars, he visited his neighbors house to house, provided them with pastoral and sacramental care, tried to alleviate their poverty, sharing the land he had, the little he had. He even created an orphanage and a school for girls. The great miracle of the Cure of Ars was his confessional, where people from all over and from all social classes went day and night, and there he achieved the conversion of sinners. What truly filled him with joy was the return of souls to God, because he was certain that with God we always win.